Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is more bad business content, and I'm going to be talking about the As Val revamp while playing a pretty heated King of the Hill on Cairo against a very capable team that had a couple of players that were pretty good actually. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to try a lot harder than I would like to try, but every so often it can be fun to dust off the old wolf inside you and try and kick some ass and win. But this is going to be interesting gameplay, guys. I hope you enjoy. But I'm going to talk about the As Val. The As Val, as some people call it. The Val Kilmer. So this gun is one of the last guns that you unlock on Prestige 3. It is in the same tier as the Honey Badger. It fires really quickly. It's got a decent amount of recoil. And it has a limited magazine, which is its greatest weakness. And when I first unlocked it and started playing with it, I liked it. I thought it was a good, solid gun. The 20 bullets though was merciless for me because, as you know guys, I like to run extended mag and I like to go for flicks and feeds and hit as many people as I can in those feeds. So getting a three-man twitch with this gun in 20 bullets is incredibly difficult to do. And if you don't know guys, I don't think Bad Business has collaterals in any kind of way, so if you have 3 people stood in a line and you shoot at them, you have to shoot them all individually in an amount of time and you won't get any credit going through. So 20 bullets runs out really quickly when you have a 900 RPM fire rate. So it was one of those guns that I liked it. For 1v1s I was pretty much unstoppable, but every time I got into a moment for a nice montage clip, I just couldn't land them because I was running out of bullets. And it got really frustrating, because I play this game to practice aim and to try and go for clips. And when I'm getting the opportunity for a clip, which doesn't always happen all the time, and I can't, I stop shooting, I can't do anything, I get pissed off in that moment, and it's just not for me. So I put about 600 kills on the Val, and then I put it to bed. I unlocked all the attachments I wanted for it. I was running around with some different stocks and things and grips. I say stocks, it didn't have stocks, did it? It had the tapes. Look at the enemy team though right now, guys. Do you ever play a game on Roblox where you just wish your team was half as interested in getting on the point as theirs seem to be? Because I know I do, and my team is an absolute farm for these enemies. If I was on the enemy team here, guys, I would have probably dropped 200 kills. But alas, it just didn't happen. So, fast forward to quite recently the Val being redesigned and adding its attachments. Designed by Ethan himself, the man who created the game, one of the 2 creators there. And I think he's done a fantastic job with it. I think the modelling is really, really nice. The only part of it I have to say that I'm critical of is one of the stocks adds like a pistol brace to the lower end of the grip, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't understand it. I don't know if it was they had an idea to create a stock that gave you a few things, but they didn't want to model something different, so they just moved the standard stock down and put it at the lower end of the grip. And you can see weapons that use that kind of additional modulation to have decent effect, but I just don't think it looks very good. I think it looks really weird and wonky. And ironically enough, I believe that stock gives you mobility, which is my favourite statistic, and one of my biggest criticisms of Bad Business is everything steals mobility from you, but when you choose anything to give you mobility, it gives you fucking 1 or 3. And it's just like, oh, I just lost 10 mobility putting on 20 extra fucking bullets on this gun, which makes perfect sense. I'll put something on to counter it. Here's your 1 mobility. So I just sit there in the corner crying and wishing things were different, and wishing doesn't work, so nothing changes. But other than that, I think I like the look of the barrels. I like the look of the irons. I think they've done a really nice job with that. And I'm going to try, if I can, to bring you a couple of different versions of the Val in videos. The one I'm using right now is simply a standard Val using one of the new stocks, which is the VSS stock, which is meant to be, I think it's more of a tactical / sniper stock intended for long range. And when you put it on your Val, it reduces horizontal recoil and vertical recoil by a decent sizable chunk. And in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot go wrong by putting this stock on this gun. All it does is make it a lot easier to manage, so I think that's incredibly powerful, and I'm happy to see it. So the other 2 barrels, the first one is like a weird foregrip kind of SMG version of the gun, and the one aspect of it that I really like is that it seems to give you better hipfire. And anything that lets me focus hipfire to something like the Vector is a really, really good tool that I'm going to look for. And I'm going to do my best to get as many things going that way as possible. So you'll see footage of me using I think it's like an SMO3, I think it's called, or something like that. I don't know the number or the designation on the grip, But you know which one I'm talking about, guys. It gives you a different iron sight, and it's got a built-in foregrip. I'm going to use that on probably some hipfire gameplay, try and get a good gameplay using hipfire with it, which is kind of fun. And then the final one is the marksman barrel, which turns it into a little bit more range and gives it arguably one of the best iron sights in the game. And the iron sight's very simple, it's just 3 prongs, but it doesn't block your screen. The greatest gift of that iron is how thin the model of the gun is, so it doesn't just completely negate your ability to see your periphery. So you free up an attachment and you have really, really good peripheral vision, and that's one of the reasons why I think that the marksman barrel is probably going to become the one that everybody uses, because it's very, very good. And if you put a couple of attachments on, you can remedy all the problems that you might have with the Val. Magazine wise, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping that the extended mag was going to give it maybe 40 rounds or 45, and it gives it 30, and I absolutely understand why. This gun is very, very strong, especially if you mitigate recoil. It fires very quickly, it does a lot of damage in its intended range, and if you were to give this gun, 50 rounds, it'd be a monster. But here's the reason that I'm concerned with this want to not give very strong guns lots of bullets, even though, there's LMGs that have got 120 and they're really good but no one uses them, is that I think that when we finally see the Badger get its attachments, it's also going to have a compromised extended mag. And personally, I would prefer to see a compromised reload speed, a compromised hipfire, a compromised ADS time, a compromised you can't carry a knife, you can't carry a grenade. I would rather play the game with 1 foot than have the negations that they give you in the other ways, because an extended mag that gives you 30 rounds, which is 10 more than normal, really does not do the role of an extended mag in my opinion. It doesn't make it feel that way. And a lot of players I notice, whenever you use the extended, they say, I'm using the gun in the LMG mode, which I think is really funny for them to think of anything that has a lot of bullets being an LMG. And one of the even funnier parts of that is, nobody uses LMGs. Every time I see someone using an LMG, it scares me because it means that they've tested other guns and they might be pretty good. Because if you've ever used them, guys, MG42, amazing. M249, amazing. Ares Shrike, amazing. Scarhammer, one of the meta guns in the game no one uses because nobody can do the startup on it. Like, those guns are insane, but they're heavy. And that's the problem with extended mag now. They've made everything heavy. And I don't really like it. So 30 rounds in the Val is sad for me, for my ambitions of 40 rounds. But it's balanced, and I understand why they did it. Would I prefer heavier recoil and all the things I just mentioned? Dude, it wouldn't bother me if the reload was a minute long. Like, did you see Petrify? Petrify talking about how bad the reload was? I didn't even fucking notice. Do you know why? Because you hit your shots, and then you leave, and no one else is shooting you. Like, I didn't even realise, and when people were talking about, oh, you need sleight of hand to make this gun work, why? Do you miss? Aren't you killing these people? Like, I don't understand. And admittedly, I don't hit every shot, and I reload a lot, but is it so difficult to reload and run away? Didn't bother me one bit. You give me a 45-second reload and I get 50 rounds, I'll deal with it, because I won't reload after every bullet like you do sometimes. It's very simple. And then there was the 10-round mag, the high damage mag, which I really like the idea of those, but if you play on high ping like I do, they don't feel good. Because they're meant to kill in 3 bullets, but they don't. Because you're like 40 seconds behind the game, so you just hear and then they die, and you're like, come on! I've got no bullets left, goddammit. But if you get on good ping with those magazines, unbelievably strong, really, really fun as well. And apparently, in the patch notes recently, they've done something to that magazine. And if you're listening to this, Ethan, I love your game, I love your team, Godspeed to you all, I hope you're safe and having fun in this Armageddon that we're all in. But can you please be more specific with what you change? Because I don't know what that means. I don't know what, buff on a magazine means. I don't like print screen the stats before and after. I'd like to know what you're actually doing. And I know that I'm not alone, because some of it is just, some of these tweaks matter, but you get no information. Change magazine, what did you do? Range? Reload speed? Extra damage? Additional damage over range? What happened? I have no idea, and if there's a place where that information exists and I didn't see it, I apologise, but I'd love to get a little bit more than just one sentence. Because I like that magazine and I want to use it because I think it's really, really cool. I love the risk and the reward of, I've got 10 bullets, but they hit like a truck. That to me is the ultimate tantalising encounter, and I'd love to discover more of that, but I just don't really know what's going on there, and once again, ping can really harm that. But As Val, just to try and sum up a little bit here, guys. This gun is excellent. It was already very good, but you didn't see it that much because it was high level and a lot of people preferred the Badger. And I thought they were both kind of equal, but the Badger has more bullets, so people will pick it. Right now, if you set this kit up the right way, I don't think there's any gun you'll lose to. If your aim is on and you're playing well, you will win with this weapon. It is easily going to shift the meta. It's just finding out what works for you. So thank you for watching, and you take care now.